Behind closed palace doors exists a world where gold-plated supercars are merely everyday transportation and private islands are personal playgrounds. This is the realm of Arab billionaires. What most people don't realize, the true source of their wealth isn't what you think, and how they actually spend it might shock you even more. In the next 15 minutes, you'll witness extravagance that makes Hollywood celebrities look middle class. But you'll also discover something unexpected. The surprising simplicity some of these billionaires choose despite having unlimited resources. From sustainability visionaries to philanthropic royals, I'm about to reveal the complex reality behind headlines that only show yachts and mansions. The numbers are staggering. We're talking about individuals whose net worth exceeds the GDP of entire nations. Their daily investment returns alone would fund a comfortable lifetime for most people. But with such astronomical wealth comes choices that reveal character in unexpected ways. You'll see palaces with more rooms than some hotels, private jets larger than commercial airliners, and cars so rare they're literally one of a kind. But you'll also discover billionaires who prefer simple meals, modest homes, and find meaning beyond material possessions. Before we begin, what would you buy first with $1 billion? Drop your answer in the comments. It might reveal more about you than you realize. Now let's start with what might be called an entry-level billionaire, if such a term even makes sense in a world where wealth has almost no ceiling. The emerging elite. Meet Fahad Al-Rajjan. With a net worth of just $1.2 billion, he's a newcomer to the ultra-wealthy Arab circle. Fahad's Kuwait City mansion spans 15,000 square feet, with 24-karat gold fixtures in every bathroom. His watch collection alone is worth more than $15 million, each timepiece representing the price of an average American home. The security system protecting these treasures costs over $2 million annually to maintain, with a team of former military personnel monitoring the property 24/7. His garage houses a rotating collection of rare vehicles, each selected not just for transportation but as appreciating assets. Yet his fortune wasn't built on oil, but through strategic investments in European technology companies, turning a $50 million inheritance into over $1 billion in just 8 years. Fahad recognized emerging tech trends before mainstream investors, placing early bets on artificial intelligence and renewable energy startups that later became industry leaders. Here's what's fascinating. Despite owning 5 lavish homes across 3 continents, Fahad spends most of his time in a modest 3-bedroom London apartment. His staff reveals he often eats simple traditional meals and wears the same watch for weeks. When asked about this contrast, those close to him say he values privacy and normalcy, luxuries that his wealth actually makes harder to obtain. On the rare occasions when he grants interviews, Fahad speaks more passionately about investment strategies than his possessions. His daily routine involves waking at 5 a.m. to monitor global markets, maintaining this discipline regardless of which property he's staying in. What drives a billionaire to choose such restraint when unlimited indulgence is available? The answer lies in a surprising pattern we'll uncover throughout our journey, one that challenges our assumptions about wealth and happiness. But what happens when a billionaire isn't satisfied with simply owning luxury, and instead decides to reinvent it entirely? When a fortune grows tenfold, how does the vision expand beyond conventional definitions of opulence? The luxury innovators. At $10 billion, Mohammed Ibrahim Al-Shatri has redefined what luxury means in the 21st century. While others buy yachts, Mohammed creates them. His vessel, Desert Mirage, features something revolutionary: a fully functioning miniature rainforest at sea, complete with exotic birds and a waterfall. The engineering to maintain this ecosystem cost more than the $180 million yacht itself. To sustain this floating paradise, a team of 12 botanists and zoologists works year-round. The vessel's water recycling system was so innovative that its technology has been adapted for drought-stricken regions across the Middle East. Mohammed's automotive collection isn't about quantity, but innovation. In 2020, he commissioned an $8.5 million Bugatti hypercar running on biofuel derived from date seeds. honoring his family's agricultural roots. It's so powerful it can only be driven on his private desert racetrack, where the banking of the turns was designed by former Formula One engineers. Each car in his collection follows a similar philosophy, pushing boundaries rather than simply displaying wealth. One modified electric vehicle broke 3 world speed records before being permanently displayed in his climate-controlled garage complex. But Mohammed's true distinction is his glass palace near Riyadh, not just an architectural marvel but a statement on sustainability. This $200 million structure, powered entirely by solar energy and hydrogen cells, literally disappears into the desert landscape through adaptive glass technology. The building harvests more water from the air than it consumes, creating a surplus that supports local agricultural projects. Its construction employed over 2,000 people for 3 years, with Mohammed insisting on fair wages and educational opportunities for all workers, many of whom later staffed the technical teams maintaining the property's advanced systems. Inside, rather than filled with gold and marble, the palace showcases commissioned works from emerging Arab artists alongside priceless historical artifacts that Mohammed has purchased and preserved for future generations. What compels someone with unlimited resources to pioneer sustainable luxury? It signals a fascinating shift among the new generation of Arab billionaires. But before we explore this evolution, let's meet someone whose wealth makes even Mohammed's billions seem modest. When your daily investment returns exceed what most people earn in a decade, how does your perspective on possessions change? And what responsibilities come with wealth that rivals some national economies? The royal industrialists. Enough is never enough. The reported motto of Prince Alwaleed bin Talal Al Saud, whose $20 billion fortune places him among the world's richest royals. His 420-room palace features 20 kitchens staffed around the clock, capable of preparing any cuisine from any region within 30 minutes of request. The facility includes specialized areas for molecular gastronomy, traditional Saudi dishes, and even replicas of famous restaurants from around the world. The palace grounds span over 100 acres, including artificial lakes, 3 helicopter pads, and gardens featuring plant species from 6 continents. Maintaining this property requires a staff of over 400 people working in shifts to ensure everything functions perfectly at all hours. But his most extravagant possession? A customized Airbus A380 purchased for $500 million and transformed with an additional $200 million into a flying palace, complete with a concert hall, Turkish bath, prayer room with mechanized mats that automatically turn toward Mecca, and even a garage for his Rolls-Royce. The aircraft's interior was designed by the same team behind several royal residences, featuring materials so rare that some required special permission to export. Its communication systems rival those of military command centers, allowing the prince to manage his global business empire from anywhere in the world. His investment portfolio spans dozens of countries and industries, from major stakes in technology giants to hotel chains and media companies. His investment decisions have occasionally moved entire markets, with analysts closely watching his financial moves for indications of broader economic trends. Yet despite this unimaginable opulence, Prince Alwaleed stands out for something unexpected: philanthropy on an enormous scale. In 2015, he pledged his entire fortune to charity through his foundation, focusing on disaster relief, women's empowerment, and disease eradication. His charitable initiatives have built hospitals in regions lacking medical infrastructure, funded educational opportunities for thousands of underprivileged students, and supported women entrepreneurs across the Middle East through microfinance programs and mentorship networks. This raises a profound question. When you can buy literally anything, what becomes truly valuable? For many Arab billionaires, the answer increasingly centers on legacy and impact, using wealth not just for personal comfort, but to shape the future of their regions and the world. But if $20 billion creates this lifestyle, what happens when wealth reaches a scale where it blurs the line between personal fortune and national treasury? How do you measure the resources of someone whose family name is synonymous with a nation's wealth? The sovereign wealth. How do you quantify the wealth of someone who partially owns a country? Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan's personal $30 billion fortune almost seems irrelevant considering his family controls Abu Dhabi's sovereign wealth fund, valued at approximately $1.3 trillion. If other billionaires' wealth were water, they would have swimming pools. Sheikh Mansour has an ocean. He doesn't purchase luxury items. He acquires institutions, like Manchester City Football Club, transformed from a $385 million investment to a global powerhouse worth over 10 times that amount. This acquisition wasn't merely for prestige. It represented a strategic move to diversify assets and build international relationships through the universal language of sport. His Emirates Palace, initially built as a hotel for $3 billion, features ceilings adorned with thousands of square meters of 22-karat gold leaf. The structure required over 20,000 workers during its construction phase, with materials sourced from every continent except Antarctica. Its ballroom can accommodate state functions for over 2,500 guests, with a specialized kitchen capable of serving this number simultaneously. The palace's technology systems are replaced every 3 years to maintain cutting-edge capabilities regardless of cost. Yet, here's the revelation few know. Sheikh Mansour rarely stays there, preferring a relatively understated compound on Abu Dhabi's outskirts, where he can enjoy family life away from public scrutiny. This private residence, while still luxurious by any standard, emphasizes functionality and comfort over ostentation. Close associates report that he values these quieter moments, often spending evenings with family rather than attending the high-profile events his position would allow. This pattern, public extravagance paired with private restraint, appears consistently among Arab billionaires. But what happens when this wealth pattern scales to encompass an entire royal family with resources that rival global financial institutions? The apex of wealth. In Saudi Arabia, wealth and power converge in ways that defy conventional understanding. The Saudi royal family collectively commands between $1.4 and $2 trillion, with King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman at the helm of this financial colossus. MBS, as the Crown Prince is known, has become the face of both tremendous wealth and ambitious transformation. His $500 billion NEOM project, a futuristic city planned to be 33 times larger than New York, represents perhaps history's most ambitious private development, featuring everything from flying taxis to artificial weather systems. The plans include the Line, a 170-kilometer-long, mirrored linear city without roads, cars, or emissions, designed to eventually house 9 million residents. Its construction employs technological solutions that didn't exist when the project was conceived, requiring innovations in transportation, energy, and urban planning. The royal family's current lifestyle matches this ambition: a main palace with over 1,000 rooms, an internal subway system, 5,000 staff members, and a fleet of custom jumbo jets, each costing hundreds of millions. The primary royal compound includes its own hospital, multiple mosques, residential areas for staff, and security systems so comprehensive they can detect unauthorized aircraft or drones within miles of the perimeter. The royal security detail numbers in the thousands, with specialized units trained by international experts. The family maintains similar properties around the world, from exclusive estates in Europe to private islands in the Maldives. Their investments span virtually every sector of the global economy, with particularly strong positions in technology, real estate, and hospitality. But the true significance isn't what this wealth purchases. It's how it's being redirected to shape the future of an entire nation and influence global development patterns. The evolution of extravagance. Here's what most observers miss about today's Arab billionaires. Their relationship with wealth is undergoing a profound evolution. The emerging generation increasingly focuses on sustainability, technology, and global impact. They still construct massive buildings, but powered by renewable energy. They still own extraordinary vehicles, but many now invest in electric transportation technology. MBS's Vision 2030 plan to diversify Saudi Arabia's economy away from oil dependency represents an acknowledgement that even trillion-dollar fortunes must adapt to survive in a changing world. This initiative includes the world's largest solar power project, major investments in technology, education, and reforms designed to create new economic opportunities. Similar transformations are occurring throughout the Gulf region. Billionaire investors increasingly fund research into carbon capture, water conservation, and sustainable agriculture, recognizing that environmental challenges pose real threats to their region's future. This shift reveals something profound. When resources are unlimited, true value shifts from what money can buy to what it can create and transform. The new status symbols aren't just possessions, but innovations, solutions, and meaningful contributions to global challenges. Across the region, ultra-wealthy Arabs are funding education initiatives, space programs, climate technologies, and artificial intelligence. Qatar's royal family established world-class universities on their soil. UAE billionaires have funded the Arab world's first Mars mission. Saudi investors back cutting-edge medical research targeting diseases prevalent in their region. What we're witnessing transcends mere extravagant lifestyles. It's the evolution of influence and legacy, a recognition that historical impact matters more than temporary indulgence. From gold-plated fixtures to trillion-dollar development projects, the spectrum of Arab billionaire lifestyles spans extremes as vast as the deserts they call home. Yet beneath this extraordinary wealth lies something deeply human. People grappling with the same fundamental questions we all face, simply with unimaginably different resources at their disposal. What constitutes true success? What legacy matters? How do we create meaning in the lives we build? For Fahad with his modest London apartment, the answer might be finding normalcy despite wealth. For Prince Alwaleed, meaning emerges through philanthropy. And for visionaries like Mohammed bin Salman, the question expands to how wealth can transform not just personal circumstances, but entire societies. This reveals perhaps the most valuable insight. Unlimited resources don't automatically create happiness or meaning. The choices these billionaires make, between public display and private simplicity, between consumption and creation, mirror our own struggles with purpose and value, just on an unimaginable scale. The next time headlines showcase another super yacht or skyscraper purchase, remember you're glimpsing just one facet of a complex relationship with wealth that's constantly evolving towards something beyond mere possession. We often assume that unlimited wealth would solve all problems, but these billionaires' stories suggest otherwise. Their search for purpose, their desire for privacy, their need for connection, these fundamental human experiences persist regardless of bank account size. Perhaps the true lesson isn't about wealth at all, but about values. What we choose to prioritize, where we find meaning, how we define success, these questions transcend financial brackets. What would you do with billions at your disposal? Would you build, transform, indulge, or give back? Your answer might reveal the kind of billionaire you'd be, and perhaps something essential about who you already are. If this exploration fascinated you, hit like and subscribe for more glimpses into extraordinary worlds that reshape our understanding of wealth, power, and purpose.